In the last days, trying to have relationships as a man to a woman is very difficult, as you guys all know. And you come here to this channel because I give you a different perspective on things. So if you're a Christian and, as a man, as a Christian, I always start out that I'm a sinner. I need Christ in my life. I need God. I'm sick with sin. Now, I'm not a terrible person, but I have a lot of sinful nature. So I start from that perspective, knowing that before I look at the flaws in other, I better take care of the flaws within my own soul first. I don't look for the mote in my brother's eye. I remove the beam that's in my eye, and then I see clearly enough to remove the mote that's in my brother's eye. So it comes to women, you have to understand in this marketplace, if you're from an Abrahamic faith tradition, Christian, Latter-day Saint, Protestant, Roman Catholic, Orthodox, or you're Jewish, or you're a Muslim, that when you're in the Abrahamic faith, especially in the West, the women you interact with, a lot of them, in my opinion, and this isn't a put down, this is just an observation, they're more pagan than Christian, or they may be totally atheistic, communistic, materialistic people, or a combination of all of the above. So when you're coming in trying to rebuild your life as a Christian, going from sin to understanding how Christ can cleanse you of sins, and then you interact with women, many of them have no religion, they're moderately Christian, they go to church once in a while, they weren't really raised Christian, they're just kind of Christian because everyone else is around them. Or there's people who are out and out pagan, who have adopted paganism or Wicca or witchcraft or magic or things of that sort. Or you have women who have no belief in God, who are totally atheistic, materialistic, communistic, and you're trying to interact with these women. That is a big problem. And unfortunately, you can't change people. I mean, if you don't believe me, try to go on a diet and lose some weight or go to the gym every day. It's difficult. It's hard. It's almost impossible to change yourself, let alone changing other people. So you say, well, if I'm trying to find a wife or a life companion or a girlfriend, and I'm navigating this, in my opinion, almost pagan landscape, this atheistic landscape, this communist landscape, this materialistic landscape, and you've heard people talk about, all types of hypergamy, the hypergamous nature of females are always trying to marry up. It's extremely difficult. And trying to find a Christian woman in this landscape, if you do find one, it's like finding, a diamond in your backyard garden. I mean, it's just rare. They're rare. If you can find a Christian woman who is a princess of the Lord God, count yourself amongst the blessed. God has truly favored you. But there comes a time when you're going to and I've seen guys like this where they're Christian, they go to church, their wives they're atheists. They don't believe in God. It was driven out of them as a child. They may have grown up in a very authoritarian, patriarchy, very forced religion scenario, and they rebel against it. I've seen that a lot. You've seen that a lot. I think instead of trying to convert people, love is a great mystery. Love between a man and a woman is a great mystery. I don't know how it all works. But if you fall in love with a woman who, maybe she's a pagan, maybe she's a witch, maybe she's an atheist, maybe she's a communist, what do you do? Well, she loves you, you love her. You're just going to have to be the best that you can be. And maybe by changing yourself, you can have an effect on her. Trying to force people to change will not work. You can only lead by example. That's all you can do. And it could fail. It's probably going to fail. But that's all you can do in this marketplace that you're in. So remember, as you're going into this marketplace as a Christian, you're pretty much in a pagan environment. You're like the early Christians trying to navigate the world. Now, you don't hate people because they're pagan. You're taught, and I'm taught, to love people. And that's difficult. It's very difficult to love people that are different than you. But our commandment is we must do that, because not only for their sake, but for our sake. Just some thoughts when you're navigating the marketplace with women, that it's very difficult now, but hold fast to Christ. You know and I know it's the answer.